Lady Catherine Ray, but you can call me Kate, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to make a Victorian 1880s coat. In school we have what is called a personal project, and we can basically pick anything we like and make it. So we have to have like a product and a learning goal, and we have to do a write-up and present it. And I figured sewing would kind of meet all of these needs. For this personal project, the suggested time is only 25 hours. So it's not necessarily a time limit, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go over. So I'm gonna log everything. I'm not gonna include like filming or editing or anything like that, but I'm gonna log everything just to get an idea of how much time I spend. But I will be trying not to go over. We'll see how that goes. The actual product, so the coat, is supposed to be done on December 6th. So I think, hopefully, I have enough time. And the pattern is from Truly Victorian. So I also picked the pattern. And I actually already have the pattern printed out and cut. Then I also have looked into fabrics, and I got fabric just for the outer layer. And then I got buttons instead. My fabric is currently in the wash. I think they're gonna put it out to dry. So, yes. It's like a medium to like dark gray color, and then so it's not exactly historically accurate. It was really hard to find fabric suitable for a coat, just in like the store we went to. It's not made of natural fibers. It is also slightly stretchy, which I do understand. It's not accurate. I do realize that. So hopefully it like appears old-fashioned-y. So yeah, I also got buttons, which I do have here. They don't have to be washed. And they're like pretty and metal and stuff. And they don't match like amazingly well with the fabric, but they're pretty. I haven't gotten a lining or batting or whatever. I should probably do that. But we may like check out other stores and stuff. So yeah. Okay, so I have all the pieces cut out here. And so I wanted it to be like a knee length, I think. I feel like that would be a good length. But because I'm really short, I actually, like I held out the pattern to myself. And actually, if I cut it to what's supposed to be thigh length, it's actually like knee length. This was like ankle length when I cut it to knee length. So yeah, it'll just be cut like that. And then apparently there are 2 different sleeve options and collar options, so I have to figure that out. Hello! So it is currently October 6th, so it's been about a week, and here I am. I think, hopefully, I have all the materials I will need. I don't have fabric for a mock-up, so I may just try to do that with paper, and I like totally get that it's not the same because it's like much stiffer, obviously. So we'll attempt to do that, maybe on myself or Eliza or something. But fabric, so this is the outer fabric here. And like I said earlier, it's not natural fibers, so that's kind of unfortunate. And it also has like stretch to it, so it's not accurate. I feel like it kind of gives the like old-fashioned vibes, but it's not actually like accurate. Obviously this is the floofy stuff, and then this for the lining, it already has that kind of like quilted look with like that kind of squares. But it's not, it's just thin fabric, and it's probably, I think it's like, probably like some sort of cotton blend, but I actually didn't even check to see what it was. So yeah, so far what I've learned is it's a lot cheaper to buy a coat than to make a coat, which I knew, and that's kind of part of why I'm doing this, to compare it. But it's just like, I got a coat at Costco for $60, and it's a nice winter coat. This has so far cost, it's like $171 just for like the materials, and then I'm probably gonna spend like hours making it. So super times. Anyways, Yes, I think I should figure out if I need to adjust the pattern at all, and then I can get to cutting. I feel like it'll be hard to figure out how much of the pattern we need to adjust when it's in paper form. So we shall have to see about that. Also, I think there are multiple collar options and possibly multiple sleeve options, so I'll need to sort that out. So here I am, and I'm looking to pick like collars and whatnot, but it says cut forth your chosen collar out of fabric, right? Just in the sewing instructions. But this is the only piece that is labeled collared. So this is the storm collar, which isn't the one I wanted. And I have all of the pieces. So maybe you're supposed to adjust this or something, but I have no idea. So, I mean, it's very, very possible that this is perfectly fine, and I just don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so I've deduced, because I am so confused right now, that this cannot come from one piece of this. Yeah, so this is where we are. I'm going to try and make a mock-up out of this. Okay, so I have the thing laid out, and I basically need just like this much fabric, which means we have about 2 times the amount of fabric we actually need. Okay, so I think what my mother's figured out is that the instructions and pictures don't match the pattern pieces. Okay, so it turns out I'm stupid. So I printed, this is the instruction page, this is the page I printed, and I figured that these, like this one, was just for different sized paper. But no, there are more pieces here. So I actually needed to have printed these 2 as well. So I'm gonna do that now, and I think that'll solve our problems. The back will be weird. We'll have to fix that. Oh gosh, I'm just incredibly stupid. Okay, so here are all of our pieces. Now, of course, the back was messed up, but we have one front side. So we're going to turn our back from before into a front. We're just going to widen the collar there and cut down there. And then this is how the rest goes. So like that flips over, and 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 that flips over. So it all fits, and we have extra. Yep. I have all of the pattern pieces cut, all 41 of them, I believe. So that's fashion fabric, lining, and batting. So now I need to start construction. So here are the instructions. So you want to attach the front, side, and back pieces. Then it talks about sewing darts. But for the darts, I feel like if I sewed them after all of my layers were connected, it would be too bulky and look bad. So if I was to do them on fashion fabric and the lining first and then sandwich them together and then do like a line to connect them, I feel like that would make it look nicer. That's not what the instructions say, so I don't know. But I will transfer the markings onto the lining because I don't think I have them yet. Okay, so I have my Yule log roll of pieces here. So all of the pieces are matched and stuff, not sewn or anything, just kind of placed together. It is so thick. Like, look at this. I literally like it so. Anyways, so yes. Now we have the back facing and front facing. They don't have lining or batting, which is a question, but we'll sort that out. And then the collar here. But if I find the front pieces, should I figure out the bottom? Here. There we go. We have to figure out darts. So, let me just get the one piece. Okay, so the instructions say to do the darts after you have gone around the outside of all the pieces, except that having a dart like this with how thick it is and just like having it there, because you wouldn't really be able to cut it because it would be like the lining, you'd cut the lining, seems weird. So I don't have the darts marked on the lining, but on here I do. So if I was to, can you see that? Do the darts on the fashion fabric and on the lining, and then have the darted pieces making the bread of the sandwich of the batting, and then sewing like just kind of down the dart to connect it. I feel like that would work better and it would look better. So I think I'm going to transfer like what I did here onto the linings and then sew the darts, I guess. And then I'll like baste around the edges. And I don't know if I should do that by hand because I feel like doing it by hand is more accurate. Anyways, I'm going to transfer the darts and then I'll pin them and then I will sew them. Yep. I've been putting off starting for a while because holding the pattern up to me, I realized that the designated waistline wasn't actually at my waist. So I guess, you know, the people this pattern was sized for must have had like really long torsos or something. So it was like about this far below, which I mean, it isn't a big deal. But adjusting like to a smaller size wouldn't help. It would just make it like skinnier this way, I'm pretty sure. Well, no, it would. So I didn't really want to adjust, well, I don't really want to adjust the pattern to like like have it, like I want it to fit me, but I feel like if I adjust the pattern and I mess up, it's really gonna suck. And this is where it's like, oh, I should have done a mock-up, but I didn't. And that's a very stupid mistake. But anyways, I'm going to continue with it, and I think having this, I mean, yeah, it's like, it's at my hip instead of my waist, which I don't think is the largest deal. Like, I feel like it's probably fine, hopefully, because that's, I think, I'm just gonna leave it. So I'm gonna sew the darts to start, because, hold this over here, instead of doing all 3 layers and then sewing the darts into that, because it's quite thick with the batting, I'll do the darts in the lining and the fashion fabric, and then I'll like go around the borders or whatever to connect to them, but I'll do like a line down the dart so that it like hold it together better. But just because I feel like sewing the dart in here would make it like really like kind of chunky, and I don't know, we'll see what happens, but that's my thinking. So I think I'm just gonna, I haven't marked the darts on the lining, so I'll need to do that, and then I'll sew the darts, and then I think I'll just go around the edge and just attach the 3 pieces together. Yeah, okey-doke. That's the plan. I've also put this off for like about 2 weeks. Yeah, okay, let's go. So I've sewn around all the pieces, now I just need to connect them. I've sewn around the outside of these pieces here, and now I'm going to sew up, this is not really, now I'm going to sew up to here, and then sew, this is, I'm going to measure it 1/2 inch above this line here, and sew up to there. And this will open to create a pleat here, so you can see it's like this, if that makes any sense. So I'll stop at orange here, I'll stop there, and here I'll stop at red. I realize I've done a horrible job of keeping you up to date on all that's happening here. Basically, I am on step 6. That is the step I will do next. So, what have I done? So I flatlined these 3 pieces together, and then I added darts. Now, I did the darts onto the lining and the fashion fabric before I actually attached the 3 pieces together. So I did the darts on both of them, and then I sandwiched it, and then I went around the edges, and then my mom and I attached the darts through here. So we just kind of stitched along the line, attaching the 3 can't see, pieces together through here. So we like went do 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 all along there. So that's attached. Then we moved on to, what is this? I've desired this. Okay. Then we attach the side backs together. Did I film this? I feel like I filmed this. But we didn't clip at the end of stitching because I wasn't exactly sure what I was supposed to do there. And then we sewed the fronts to the side back seams. And now we shall attach the backs together. So the first step was to attach the side back and the backs together. And so I attached from here. And then I stopped 1/2 inch above the top of the pleat here. So you don't want to sew along this part here. This is going to be the pleat here. And 1/2 inch above that. So I stopped 1/2 inch here. And then I continued sewing all the way down here. And so I did that in both of these. And then I attached these two pieces, the side back and the back, to the front here. So let me fold this over. So then we attached matching notches and just along the curved seam. And that was just a straight line down there. So now we're going to attach the backs together. So this, I should probably lay out properly. You see, it's quite a big skirt. Oh, and I forgot to say, when flatlining the pieces together, I left the bottoms because they were rather uneven. So I'm going to cut that after, and hopefully it'll be all right, but it kind of sucks. All right, so I'm going to sew. I'm going to, I think, stop here. I think I'll sew from here because this, I think I may cut off. Well, no, I'll sew because I want to make sure it doesn't undo if I do cut it off, because the knot will be here. Anyway, so I'll figure that out, but idea is I'll either sew from here or here, or sew up here, and I'll stop at the red pin, but I'll actually measure in 1/2 inch below because this is more than that. And then I won't sew here or here, so this will be no sew zone. And then I'll sew again with the white pins here and stop there. And then that should connect the backs. And then it's the shoulder seams that I do. Yeah. Alright, so I've sewn along the seams, and then I pinned it like this so that I could wear it. And then I came to the realization of pockets. Because there's a seam right where I could add pockets. Let me think. Yes, it is this seam right here. I could add pockets. I'd have to unpick this, but I should be able to add pockets. So, pockets. What do I do about that? I could do them out of the lining. I think I should have enough lining. If I don't, I do it out of the fashion fabric, but I should have enough lining. And I could either do like 2 layers so that I do wrong sides together so that my inside, my hand is cozy, and the outside, or the inside looks nice. Because I think I should add pockets. And I think they should be big, because they can be big, I think. Because this is heavy already, so hopefully it won't show through. I really know nothing about pockets. But I'm going to sew the shoulder seams. I will repin this, sew the shoulder seams. That is a tongue twister, believe it or not. And then I will do pockets, hopefully. I'll look into pockets, because I didn't do pockets on my walking skirt, which I think was probably the right decision. But oh my gosh, how much would I like pockets on this? So much. So I think pockets on this would be fantastic. So I will sew the shoulder seams, and that is just me matching the front side here to the back here, and we have this curved bit here in the middle. So it closes like this. Whoops. So you can like actually see the coat kind of, right? So that's how it's attached like that, and then you have the armholes here, right? But pockets, I think, would be brilliant. So I will sew this, and then I will most definitely look into pockets. All right, so I have sewn I need to cut these, but I have sewn one of the halves of fashion fabric right side out to the batting, following 9, and I'm pretty sure I'm doing this right, hopefully. So now I'm going to sew these right sides together, just along the middle seam here. So that'll fold out like this. And then I will attach these right sides together. Oh no, then I'll sew along the middle for this one, and then I'll sew along the middle for these two as well, so that they end up with the seam like here or whatever. And then I'll attach them right sides together. Oh dear, I flipped this the wrong way. And then those will all be like nice and attached in the middle, and then I'll sew along the top here, then I'll flip them over, or maybe the top and the sides here as well. And then I'll flip them so that it creates like a collar-y thing. Hopefully that makes some sense. I'm not exactly sure what I should do for E, but yeah. Okay, so we'll sew along the middle parts here. Oh wait, it shouldn't be this way. It should be this way. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So I'll sew it like this, and then I'll sew these ones like this. Okie doke. So now I'm going to attach these right sides together, and then I will pin and sew along the top, and I guess the edges too. It doesn't say that. What does it say? Oh, but it shows it here. Okay. Alright, so I've sewn along either side and along the top. So now I guess I just flip it. Although it says to cut. So should I maybe like trim the corners? There's not much to cut off. This is a bit uneven here. Okay, sure, whatever. Now I've kind of trimmed it. I don't know. It says trim it is necessary, I think, but yeah, clip edges. Sure, okay, let me just turn it right side out then. Oh, and by the way, I used half of the batting because it was going to be really thick, and I don't know. Yeah, but let me try and put some shape into this. See what we have. There we are. The top is a little wonky, but I should probably press this. So it's like this, but you can see I should like flatten it and make it nice. But there we are. Okay, so now I need to figure out E. E says, oh yeah, okay. To help collar lay smoothly at the neck, shift the edge of fashion fabric 1/4 inch inside. So wait, hold on. So this is the fashion fabric side here. Fold it over at the top, don't worry, it's not that much shorter. 1/4 inch inside the edge of lining of fabric. Does it want this? Like, so I fold it over like that? But I don't know how that would help it lay more smoothly. Baste neck edge of collar and lining together. Okay, let me ponder over this. All right, I think I may understand this. So I tried to press this flat so that the seam is nice and on the top. And so I think what it wants us to do is on this side that's not attached to the batting, we shift this 1/4 inch up. So just a little bit, I'll have to measure it properly. Let's see. Why can't they use the metric system? So it's like this. Is that like a 1/4 inch? Okay, and then we baste along here, and then we cut this off, and that will make this just that little bit longer, so that when it hangs, it'll be like middle, because if you have it both the same length, it'll like kind of stick out a little bit, but if you have it just that little bit longer, it should like fold nicer, I think is what they're talking about. All right, so hopefully I've done this right. I've just tried to sew away from the edge. Like this, And then I guess I'll cut it. Hopefully that's not wrong. This is what they did here. Although they didn't sew all the way to the edge with the 1/4 inch thing. It's fine. It's fine. I'll figure it out. I'll just cut. Oh, this is scary. I won't cut off my seam allowance, just because I feel like it should be there, and I also want to attach it to the actual coat. Hopefully this is right. I'm definitely cutting through my stitches right now from earlier, but it should be fine because now there are new ones to hold them. Okay. That's like that. Looks a lot cleaner now. All right. So, now what do I do? Trim collar as desired. Okay, we did that. Now we attach collar to fashion back and front neckline. Fashion fabric sides facing up and collar lining facing the coat. Fashion fabric, be sure to match. Okay, so now we just actually attach it. So let me go grab my thing. Okay, it's a little crazy. Anyways, so here is our collar. So this, oh shoot, which side is the fashion fabric side? It'll be the top side, right? Because that's what we did. Okay, so the top side should be facing up. And then we match this. See, look at all these unfinished seams though. I think I'll just need to cover them somehow. Okay, I look crazy, but here we are. Somehow this doesn't seem exactly how it's supposed to be. The collar is up. It's not sewn yet, it's just pinned. But it's like kind of bumpy. Maybe I'll try this on Eliza so I can see it better. Okay, it's kind of pinned in a funky way right now. If I fold it down so you can see, the pins are kind of pinned oddly. But anyways, I think it works. Hopefully. I think that works. I hope I'm just going to be able to blame this right now on the pinning and say that, oh yay, it's going to work amazingly. This is matched the back seam pretty well. Yeah. And then this at the front, we'll just fold over. Sorry, we're way overexposed here, but it's fine. And then that'll be doing its thing. It's hard to do this with one hand. Okay. Okay, so do I just sew it? I think I just sew it. Then what do I do? This is exciting. See? I go through phases where I'm like, oh, I hate this. This is awful. It's never going to work. And then that's exciting again. Neck facings. Interesting, interesting. Okay, well, I'm going to sew this then and hope that it goes well. Fingers crossed. We have a collar. Hopefully attached correctly. I'm not entirely sure because it's so... But hopefully it's correct. Anyways, let's see, we've done this page. Where's my pencil? Here. Pow. Now, here we are. So we trimmed the collar as it desired, and then we attached it. Okay, neck facing. So front facing to back facing along shoulder seam. Ah! Hold on, did I attach it wrong? Okay, wait, let me read through this and then figure out what is going on. Okay, I think I know what we're going to do and how we're going to cover the visible seams with our lovely facings. It'd be helpful if I actually knew what like facing meant or like what it technically was, like with the definition. But I don't, and I'm going to just follow these instructions here. So, basically, we have our lovely pieces here, and we are, sorry, this is messed up. Like this. Okay. Kind of. Anyways, so I'm going to sew these right sides together. Let me unpin this. So I'll sew these right sides together so it makes this sort of circly shape. These aren't cut particularly long. That's fine. Ignore that. So I'll sew these together so that it creates this sort of circle kind of thing here. And then I'll sew it right sides together with the coat and then flip it, much like we did with the collar, so that it covers all of the ugly seams that will be visible when actually wearing the coat. So we sew it like all the way down to the bottom. And then flip. And then I guess we hand stitch it, which will kind of be a pain, but whatever. And then, yeah. So right now I'm going to sew these right sides together on either side, just like this. And then I will attach it. Okay, I messed up. I first needed to press this side of the front facing 3/8 of an inch over. Oh my gosh, the imperial system is so stupid. And then I'll take out these pins. They're no longer holding it. And then I will pin it to the coat. Although when I was pinning, this didn't quite line up, even though I like matched the notches and everything. So I'll have to figure that out. But yeah. Okay, so I think the problem is I attached the facings the wrong way around. So I've unpicked it now. But I think instead of attaching it this way around, so it was like this or whatever, I need to do it this way around so that it kind of goes into the curve. And I think this makes a lot more sense, hopefully. Because this side is shorter too, so then I won't have it like, because before it didn't like line up and there was extra. So I'll just unpin this and then redo the facings. And then I'll pin it back again. Alright, so I sewed around all of the edges, and then I trimmed off some of the excess, especially at the corners and stuff, and then I folded it and tried to press it, but I'm not sure if it actually did that much since it's so thick. So now I'm going to have to pin this over and hand stitch all of this, which will probably take a few million years, but here we are. Okay, so I've pinned it, which takes a second to figure out. The key is just like in the armholes and stuff, just kind of holding it to the shape it'll become, and that just helps it lay nicer. And then I don't know why this part wasn't supposed to be folded over. But anyways, this is how it is. I think I will just kind of tack it on and not like just like precisely do like tiny little stitches when I do it, because it's going to take forever either way. But I think I've already surpassed my time limit, but I feel like just tacking it on and then getting it done before the deadline is better than having it beautifully done and then not having it finished. So I'll just kind of tack it on like this. In fact, just tack it on. I mean, my stitches weren't like tiny as possible, but it took longer than I intended. For my project, I think I'm going to do the sleeves before I do the bottom. So I cut out bell sleeves. So with fashion fabric, so the front, with fashion fabric, sew the front sleeve seam right sides together, clip and press. Quilt or baste the batting to the wrong side of the linings, then sew on the front sleeve seam right sides together, clip and press. Okay, so I have completed steps A and B, attaching the fashion fabric and the lining and batting. So now I've turned them both right side out so that I can go around the cuffs, which is this bottom part, and then flip it back. Does that make sense? I think so. Okay, so I have pinned the pieces together, and so this is batting in, lining out, and then this is right side in, wrong side out. And then so I like have it so that it's like covering the sleeve so that it's backwards of how it's going to be when it's done, because then this will flip down so that these seams are hidden. So now I think I just sew around the edges, which may be a challenge. I'll be like struggling with the machine because of the circle, but oh well, I'll figure it out. So with right sides together, sew fashion fabric to sleeve lining at the wrist, clip seams and turn lining to the inside and press. Okay. I'm just basting around the sleeves by hand here because I don't feel like adjusting the settings on my machine again. And then I'll do a little like stitch over the top for gathers so that it will better fit the armhole and for like flare. Okie doke, we have sleeves, their sleeves, and they're doing stuff like sleeves should. So now I need to do the pleats at the back, and then the buttons and buttonholes, which are going to take forever, and the bottom. Okay, so I don't have their, whatchamacallit, Peter Sham ribbon, but I'm going to get some. But for this, I think all I need to do now is I'm just going to close these holes here. I'm going to hand stitch it because I think this would be really awkward to do on the machine. And then I'll hand stitch it to just the lining itself. And then this one gets folded in half with the seams matched. And then the same one's just opposite as that. So I'll just hand stitch across them and then attach them to just the lining. All right, so I have done the pleats. They have been closed and sewn to the lining. So now I need to even out the bottom. So it's taken a second to because it's all like uneven and like the different layers and stuff. But I'm just going to figure out, I'm going to mark with chalk just around what I need to cut off. And then that should make it even, and then I'll be able to finish it. Okay, so I have marked it all the way around. It's quite a lot that I need to cut off, which really sucks. But I guess I'll cut it. Okay, I did it. I cut it off. So now I'm going to put it on Eliza. Oh, by the way, I've named her Edith. This is Edith Crawley. Well, named after Edith Crawley because we love her, but she's a bit of a rascal. Yes, we do love Edith. Anyways, so yes, Edith is going to go on Eliza, and we will make sure that it is all even. I did extend it here so that the back could be longer because I added in a thing. Let's see, I cut most of it off, I guess. But, anyways, I, lengthened the lining on the inside, which was, oh, dear, I didn't do a very good job here. Oh, because it was folded over. Oh, I see. Anyways, I gotta tidy this up then. But, yes, so we shall test this out. All right. Oh, dear, we're really having troubles here. Anyways, oh, okay, sorry about that. It looks to be even, I think. And I did try to make it slightly longer on the back. That's looking a little odd there. But, you can't tell exactly. But I think it's fine. So I think it's fine. I think I should just better get hemming. So I'll just fold it over. The instructions say to fold it over and then you can cover it with, the tape stuff. But I may just fold it over twice. Well, no, because if we're going to get the tape stuff anyways, I might have, I'll just use that. Yeah, so I'll just fold it over once and then I'll just, do a straight stitch over it. And then I can, oh gosh, get started on the buttons. Also, today is the 4th and it's due on the 6th. And I don't have any time to work on it. Okay, so we are back after quite a few weeks. So here we are. I still have all of the buttons pinned, and the bottom is just pinned at the bottom. Nope. Yes. Okay. Anyway, so I've been able to extend the deadline, which is good, because there are definitely some touch-ups I need to do. Like the sleeves need to be brought up, I think, because they're kind of falling right now, and that's not what we're going for. And then I think it should be a little more fitted at the waist as well. See, this is why I should have done a mock-up in the first place, but anyways, here we are. So I'm going to turn, I think I'll take off all the buttons and pins from the bottom, because they're basically, like, that's my whole pin collection there. And then, yes, I will, I think, just turn it right back to being inside out. Yes, inside out. And then I think, I don't know if I'll take off the sleeves and then repin them, or just like sew again farther up. I'll see. But yeah, so that's where we are. Okay, so what I had, I asked people to just put pins right on my shoulders while it was on me, and so I guess her shoulders are narrower than mine. This is like kind of where her shoulder like ends, because they start carving down quite quickly. So anyways, this is where my shoulder ends on me. It's not the same on Eliza. And so they're just pinned there, and see, it's not quite on her straight. But anyway, so this is where it ends on me. So then I'm going to put the, I'll put the sleeve inside, and then I'll kind of like mark around here. And the bottom part, I think I'll want to keep that the same. Like I won't want to tighten it at all. I think I'll keep this part the same, but then I'll make this smaller by the pen. So I'll use like chalk or more pins to just kind of mark along here. And hopefully that's all good. Okay, so basically what I did is I had, the person pin it, and then I did kind of like a rough estimate chalk line around to about the seam here, and then the opposite side, which didn't have a seam there, but just so that it's like even on either side, lining up with the bottom here. And then I pinned it and I tried it on to make sure they all line up. And now I'm just gonna sew along my chalk line all the way around, and that should be good. And then I'll just cut off the seam allowance. Okay, so I've sewn around, and then I cut off the seam allowance. So now, I think it's looking a lot better on me now. It doesn't look quite as bulky, which is good. And so now I think, because the waist never properly lined up, so I think we may try to sort that out. So I think I'll put it on me inside out and then mark my waistline. And then I took in a dress a while ago, so I think I'll do the same thing, just kind of going along, whereas like the seam would be like that, and then I just kind of add more to it. So hopefully that works out. Okay, so for taking it in, I just, it was basically a lot of pinning it on myself and then adjusting it and then putting it back on and seeing how it fit. And so I kind of did that for like all around where I wanted to take it in. So my waist is going to be like here. And then I just kind of did a chalk connecting line. So I'm going to stick a couple pins on this side and on this side so that it doesn't move around while I'm sewing, because I can't sew over these pins. And then that shall be taken in. And then we shall do the bottom, I think. We'll be hemming the bottom. Okay, so I cut away that, and it totally gives a much more fitted look and really improves the silhouette. So now I'm going to start with hemming the bottom. So what I've done is I've gone along, and I'm going to cut about 2.5 inches from the bottom, and then that way I can fold this up. So only these layers here, and then I can fold this up and over to hem it, and then I'll just hand stitch it. So I think I'll pin all these layers together and then really try to keep this one away as I cut along the bottom. So wish me luck. So I finished hemming the bottom, and now I must move on to the buttons. So I'm going to use this paper thing so that they're all evenly spaced out and like kind of stick in pins and stuff and measure and remeasure a bajillion different times. Okay, so trying to line up the buttons. So it's a pain, but we're trying to like stretch this across because there's this bump here and we want to line up the buttons with each other rather than with the side. So it's just a pain, but anyways. So we have these like crosses along. So I'm going to sew around them and try to make it so the fabric will move around to like the top spot. Okay, so here I'm really just making sure that like the fabric does not move. I've already gone around like each kind of area. Now I'm holding the like two sides together as well. So I'm just gonna do like a basting stitch through that as well so that it does not move when I cut the buttonholes. Okay, so I've sewn squares around each button and then also around each buttonhole. So now I need to poke holes, which is very scary. So I'm just going to use a seam ripper. Oh gosh, okay. So poke at blue, and then I put an extra pin by the pink one, just to make sure I don't push farther than those pins. I need more light. Oh my gosh, this is so scary. Okay. Poke. And go. Oh dear. Okay, maybe I'm just gonna use scissors. Okay, now let's see. Oh my gosh, this is so scary. The button fits. I can go a little more on each side, I think. Maybe I should go through more. Is that good? That may be good. Yeah, I think this is good. Okay, I'll do that for the other ones. Okay, now I sew the buttonholes, doing a tiny little blanket stitch around the edges and going over the ends at either side. Okay, so I finished sewing the buttonholes. My mother did the bottom two and then I did the other ones. And you can see I got progressively better as I went along. Anyways, so they'll be hidden by buttons, so it should be fine. But anyways, so now we have to actually sew on the buttons. So I'm going to start with this bottom one here, making sure that the bottom is nicely lined up and the top is lined up. So I'll like pin it all together. And then I think I may sew through the buttonhole or something. That may be a little too squishy. I'll like maybe pin the button through the buttonhole so it's in the right spot, or like mark it with chalk or something, just to make sure it's all lined up. And then if I want to go for 2 rows, if I want to do the double-breasted look, I'm going to do that after. I'm going to start with just 1 row because there may not be enough room because it may be like too crowded if we're supposed to have it centered, because this will go here. Right, there's 1 button, and then you want it centered down the middle, so this is going to have to go like here, because that, and I feel like that may be too crowded, so I'm not sure, but I'll start with just the 1 row, and then see where that takes us. Well, there we go. I have the lapels pinned down right now because I need to press everything one final time. But yeah, there we go. There are definitely some things I think I could improve on. I know, just as like finishing touches, after I finished sewing the buttons, I had to fix up a few spots when I didn't catch all the fabric, not all the layers, and I had to just make sure like under the arm it was kind of showing the batting a little bit and everything, and that was under the arm and in the sleeve somewhere, and I think just here. And then I also think I should unpick because you can see some of the stitching. So there are definitely some things I need to just touch up and finish. I'm also wondering if I should add that second row of buttons because it is slightly uneven. I mean, it is uneven. So I don't know, I may do that in the future. But I mean, I don't think it's terribly bad for my first project. This is definitely the largest I've done. Probably a little bit too much to take on. But, you know, I'm glad I did it. And it is actually finally getting cold now that it's January. I think I started in October. So it's taken a while, especially with like this, and I've the dancing a bunch and schoolwork and everything. So yes, there was definitely a fair amount of procrastination throughout this whole project. But yeah, I think it's exciting, and I'm certainly glad I'm done. And I think when you look at it, it goes out a little bit at the bottom, and I think that's because I need to add some sort of bustle to lift it up, because when I do that, it takes away that little weird like flare that doesn't really work. So I think if I was to make just like a little like bustle pad or something, that should help. And I've been collecting like threads and like bits of fluff and stuff. So I think if I was to do that, I'd just be able to stuff it with just like little bits and bobs. But yeah, I have a coat. And so as far as the school project goes, I will be presenting in like March or something. So I have a ways, and unfortunately most of it's actually graded on a report rather than our actual project, although that may be rather fortunate. Anyways, yeah, this has been fun. It's probably going to take me eons to edit and everything. I also have like another thing I need to edit, and it's just like not working out. But yeah, I am glad it's finished, and I have a somewhat nice looking coat, and so yeah, I think I'm pretty pleased. Yeah, okay, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.